Deshaun Malone writes in. He says, "Hey guys, now the Switch has been out for almost 2 years. How long do you think the console will last? How many more years do we have the Switch, and what about the 3DS?"
We have 4 more years for Switch, and I think for 3DS, I think this is its final year. I believe at EA will get. Goodness, at E3 we'll get a new announcement on the system, their next handheld. But I think it's a wrap up for 3DS this year. But Switch, we got 4 more years.
I think we have a little bit longer than that for Switch. I think they're going to iterate on Switch similar to what they did with the 3DS to keep it moving and keep it going longer. I think we have about 6 or 7 more years with the Switch, to be honest with you. I think they want the system to last 10 years because I don't know if they know. I mean, I'm sure they have ideas and stuff about what's coming next, but like, I don't know if they know what they really want to do next or how they kind of top this idea of home console mixed with handheld, you know? And I think the Switch is such a convenient idea that I think they're going to want to stick with it as long as they can, you know, put out software for it and have third parties on board, you know, because that's the one big surprise is that they have third parties on board now.
The reason I give it 4 is I think it's going to depend if Epic is going to do a new Unreal Engine or how Unity stands out. So if a new engine comes out that's really big and it doesn't fit Nintendo Switch, I think Nintendo will be like, okay, we need to look at their engine and see if we can get a runner for our next console for it. Because who knows, Unreal Engine 4 might be here for the next 10, 20 years. But if they get a new engine, I don't know if people are going to get into that to bring to the next Switch.
Well, I think if the Switch stays popular enough, they would they would be able to like Unreal, for example, like you can port that down to phones and stuff pretty easily, as you can see by the popularity of Fortnite. And like it doesn't matter how like powerful the phones are, the Switch or whatever is going to be like, even if they iterated on it in every couple of years or so, like still going to be about as powerful. And you still see things like, I mean, newer games are still running on older iPads and stuff too, you know, like it's still a viable platform, and technology is so scalable now that I think like maybe that doesn't matter. Plus with streaming and stuff becoming an option, like I don't know. I still think the Switch might last a little bit longer, but I think this is going to be the last major year for the 3DS. You know, there might be some stuff trickle out next year, but we're already seeing it with the sales of WarioWare Gold not kind of being great. The Luigi's Mansion remake sold well, but not fantastically. You know, I think the 3DS is
on its way out.
Yeah, it's getting out there. So.
Yeah, well, I think part of that is just like if you can play the Switch on the go, it's like, do you really need to bring both of them with you? You know, like a lot of people, I think, are just either picking one or the other to bring with them, and a lot of people are spending more money, and you're getting, you know, bigger console size, you know, games on the go with the Switch. So what, you know, like what's the point at certain point? Like if you're having to pick what you spend money on, most people are going to spend it on the Switch, you know. Yeah. So
well, I think people will spend it on both systems.
Yeah. But not, it's not going to be top of the mind first thing on the DS though. I don't think for most people that's going to be an afterthought. People are going to rather get the game on the Switch first. You know, if they don't have the money to get both things right away, they're gonna get the bigger games first for the Switch, and then worry about the DS.
Well, with the next handheld and stuff. Well, because there's some Atlas stuff that's not on Switch yet, that still come out to the 3DS. That people who are big fans of those IPs and those properties, they would still get it for the 3DS until they decide to bring out a new handheld or a new Switch. Because Atlas Atlas themselves still make money off of the 3DS. Yeah. So you know, they would literally need that. They would need that money from the 3DS, or their next handheld if they decide to do one over Switch.
What if they decided that the next handheld was actually like the next was basically a little bit more powerful Switch, and then the next game system was actually an actual like system to try to compete with the PS5 and the Xbox 2?
I think it depends on what they're going to do for their format. Like if they decide to be like, you know, let's try the GameCube format with the mini disc and stuff, if they want to go there, or if they're going to still stay with the cartridge for both their next handheld and the Switch.
Yeah. I would think they'd probably stick with the cartridge, just because like you know, like it's getting to the point now where eventually the bigger cards are going to be cheaper to make and stuff like that. So
plus, if there's an iteration with that Tegra 2 chip that they've been talking about instead of the Tegra 1, like I think that the ability to port Xbox 2 and PlayStation 5 versions of games to the Switch will be easier, because that processor can handle a lot more than what the one in the Switch now. So I mean, plus if you get the bigger carts, like you can easily Plus you got people like Iron Galaxy and Panic Button doing fantastic work of porting games down anyway. Like so.
Well, and I think that's why I said like the format for the next handheld, because if the mini disc is held the same and it's cheaper to produce,
no one's using mini discs anymore.
No, yeah.
Hey, I think people would still buy it. If they did like a mini GameCube Classic or mini GameCube, people would still buy those discs.
But I think if they were gonna do a disc and they were gonna go with, you know, try to compete with a Xbox 2 or a PS5, they're gonna go with Blu-ray.
Not for a Switch. I'm talking about handheld, like their next DS.
I know, but I'm saying for regular console though, because I don't think there's gonna be, like I was saying, I honestly could see them like continuing somewhat of a Switch, but it being literally their handheld, and they could, and it would could communicate with the new system.
Yeah,
the new system that would be powerful enough to compete with the PS5 or the Xbox 2. Like, I don't know that it would be 4K, but I mean, like, it will be like way higher resolutions and 60 frames per second. But
yeah,
we'll see in the future. All right.